Well, we'll get guests in here and
Hello,
there. I'll
people.
start lining them up.
Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk. And we had an exciting stacked card last week. Let me talk about the first fight. Frank Sanchez destroys Richard Torres Jr. in epic fashion. This was a case of too quickly.
I think we both called a knockout when we had the last show, and it was he wasn't ready for a guy who was that good. I don't know why they thought they could get by Frank at this point. Frank is very dangerous, an excellent boxer, and he just waited his time, and Richard did what he normally does is he bores in. He came in low, dropped his left, and he got the right counter, and he got KO'd. And
it was pretty spectacular, wasn't it?
For him. Pardon me?
It was a pretty spectacular punch.
Yeah, and he's small for a heavyweight, and they were putting him up against guys who were not good, and he was still getting hit, cleanly. You don't put him in there with a sharpshooter like Frank Sanchez, who's got all that experience and power. It was just a recipe for disaster. I don't know what they were thinking.
I just think they just wanted to swim, put him in the deep end, see how good he is, see where he is, in terms of his.
But I think also they were looking to position him for a title shot that he was clearly not ready for.
Yeah, they've rushed him. They've messed it up again. That's another prospect's career potentially ruined. But I think he'll be back if he changes his coach and changes the way he does stuff. I mean, he's 25. Luckily, he's got age on his side, so he can go away and get better. It's not like he's Johnny Fisher level, is it?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that was a bad knockout for him.
He clearly doesn't have the chin for heavyweight boxing. That's all I'm going to, really.
Well, he was hit flush by a guy who was like, what, 240? Or 235?
I'd still say he's a top 40 fighter. Torres, top 30.
Yeah, he was an up-and-comer. To put him in there with Sanchez, nobody wanted to fight Sanchez, and so he fought Caballel, and Caballel stopped him, right?
Yeah, you don't fight if you're a prospect. You don't fight guys like that at 14-0. Even with that Olympic background, because he's determined and he's got a good engine, I think he can come back from this. This could be the making of him. Let's be honest about it. How many times have we seen prospects lose, come back and win world titles and do something?
That's true.
I think he could be a respectable top 25 if he comes back, but he needs to learn some defense.
Yeah, his style is swarming, trying to get inside, but he's no Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier was so fast at slipping punches. He's not that's not going to work.
I'm not going to trash. Yeah, I'm not going to trash Torres. He's a prospect. You can't trash people after only one loss. Let's just see how he develops.
Right.
If this is the wake-up call that he needs.
I don't feel we're trashing him. I feel that it's constructive criticism because it's the truth. He has the ability. He looked in great shape. But let's face it, his style, he has to get inside because he's short.
Yeah, it's heavyweight boxing.
And he's got to have a defense for that, and he doesn't.
I think once he learns that defense, he'll learn a lesson from this. He needs to go and spar with world-class boxers, probably change his team, change his management team as well. If he was under Matchroom, I could tell you they'd guide him much more better.
He could have fought somebody like Dillian White, somebody on the downside who has skills, and he would have got a better experience. But he's getting hit too much, even against these guys that are just poor fighters.
Yeah, if somebody's not ready, don't rush them. You can never rush a prospect. If you rush them, this is what happens. That's boxing. Right, let's move on to Hamza Shiraz destroys Alan Begic, and we did say this was a mismatch, didn't we, before the fight happened?
We definitely did, and it was. I mean, those body shots were killing him.
This guy fought Europe, not even world level, he's European level. The guy fought. He had a padded record. I looked at his record, and we decided that he had a padded record, which we kind of knew because I'd never heard of the guy.
Right.
I think because it's a vacant belt, Frank. Some of these promoters, they have a thing of just getting the guys, the weakest guys, who they can get for a title fight. You know, he's right 7th in the rankings. It's ridiculous.
Well, he's definitely going to be a threat. You know, he just needs to keep winning. He looks like he's going to move up in weight, though. He's got a very big frame.
Like division. I say, Canelo and stuff, things like that, forget about that for the time being. Just keep defending the belt, and then he'll get another title shot against somebody, because that super middleweight division will open up in the next, year or so. It's going to open up even more.
It will, for sure.
He can definitely pick up in the belt. Right, let's move on to the Usyk fight. What the hell was that?
Well, remember I told you that you didn't know much about Rico, and I knew a lot about Rico. And Rico is the best kickboxer in the heavyweight division ever. And I saw him get hit with harder shots than that, getting kicked in the head, and he recovered. His style, you could see he was open for the uppercut right away, but his hands and the movement to his, side, he was always on the outside of the right foot of Usyk. And Usyk, you could see his eyes. He was like, what's going on with this guy? It was such an awkward style. But you could tell little by little he was figuring him out, and it was the uppercut really that was his weakness in that fight.
I think that fight made Rico look better than what he actually is, because Usyk didn't come in shape. If he'd come in shape, he would have won it early. He took the fight lightly. He didn't take the fight seriously. That's what happened.
Yeah, but also you got to give credit to Rico. I think it's the stoppage.
Yeah.
Whoa, what was that?
The
stoppage. Okay, the stoppage happened too soon. The bell had already rung, and the ref is quoted as telling Fury, the trainer, that he didn't hear the bell. You could hear the bell go off about 5 seconds before he stopped it.
Oh, yeah.
And Rico was actually okay to continue.
Yeah, but if he got back to come out for 12th, Usyk would have stopped it. Anyway, you could see he was ready to go.
Yeah, but he had a minute to recuperate, and he has great recuperative powers.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
But he wouldn't have got the decision anyway. He wouldn't have got the decision anyway.
I don't know. On some scorecards, he was ahead.
All it was, Usyk wasn't in shape. It's as simple as that. If he'd been in shape, he would have got him out there early. It wouldn't have been such a close fight. So to me, there's people on the side. Rico's world class. His technique is awful, right? His boxing technique is terrible. I just think to myself, if he gets in there with any of the guys in the top 10, he's going to get wiped out, because they'll know that if they get in shape, they'll beat him. It really is that simple for me.
Yeah, I agree with you to a certain extent. I think they came up with a style that they knew would be hard for Usyk, but he was figuring it out. And no, he wasn't in the best shape. But that's his fault. That's his fault.
But what we need, there should be no rematch. That's it. It's over. If there is to be a rematch, what they'll probably do is put Rico in there, someone like Dave Allen. That will be the next thing. Imagine if that went to the full 12 point, the full 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it.
I want to see him in there with somebody else who's a top 20 fighter, not a guy who's a top 10. I want to see him in there with a lower level guy, then we can really gauge how good he is.
Yeah, his punches were a little wide. He tagged Usyk a couple of right hands. But, like in terms of, boxing technique and the leverage and whatnot, it was okay. But he wasn't going to knock Usyk out.
If he continued boxing 10 years ago, he would have been a world champion, I'd say. He would have ended up being a world champion. But I just think he caught Usyk at the right time. Usyk's 39. To me, they're not going to give him the rematch after that. No way.
Well, this is what Usyk said. He said he's going to fight Kabiel, and then after Kabiel, he wants Tyson Fury.
You know, Cabiel's got a chance, a real chance of winning it. He's dangerous,
yeah.
you know. I
He's
don't think he
dangerous.
would.
I think Usyk could outbox him.
Yeah. I think
but he
Usyk
is
wins
dangerous.
that fight. I'm not going to, and this fight doesn't hurt Usyk's legacy at all.
Well, he knocked him out.
Yeah, he knocked him out. He got the job done. He did what he needed to. He would have knocked him out anyway. I don't think Rico could have taken too much more, and that's me being honest. You know, I'm not taking anything away from Rico. It doesn't look good for boxing, does it? When the guy who's the best in the world, you know, it doesn't look good.
Well, it was like when Tyson Fury got knocked down by Francis Ngannou.
And then we still saw what happened in his next fight. That's my point in time. You know.
Right. So
put him in there with somebody who is a top 35. The difference between Ngannou and Rico is that Rico's a much better boxer, and he could fight people. Yeah, so he'd have a chance of beating guys in the top 10. But we can't. You know what I mean? I need to see him again.
Right, and once again, the referee shouldn't have stopped it. Rico was okay. I mean, yeah, he caught a couple of shots after that, but when he stopped it, he's clear-eyed. He's talking to the ref, and the ref didn't hear the bell. You know?
No, he didn't. It was a strange one.
Yeah, a lot of people were calling fix. It wasn't a fix. And
Usyk,
even though it was after the bell, the referee
I
can
think
stop the
Usyk
fight at any
personally
time.
should retire now. I think he should retire. Call it a day. You know, if Cabiel beats him, it won't hurt his legacy, but again, it'll be like, I think Cabiel could probably catch him at the right time.
One fight too many.
You know? But I don't think Usyk will fight him. I think he'll vacate, and then he'll fight somebody else. You know.
We'll see. I mean, his plan is if Fury gets past AJ, if they actually make the fight, then he'll fight Fury because it's a big payday for both of them. Yeah,
I just think if Usyk's not going to fight Tyson Fury or somebody like that or somebody top, he should just walk away now and count his lucky stars that he didn't lose, you know, and just leave it at that.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody would miss him. He's not that exciting, is he?
Well, this fight was exciting.
It was the best fight I've seen, you know. Right.
And also the ones with Fury were exciting.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to Conor Benn is apparently going to be fighting Ryan Garcia. Oh, dear.
You were picking Garcia on this, if I recall.
Oh, yeah, comfortably. Yeah, I think he'd knock him out.
Right. Well, I don't doubt that. You know what I mean? Are you there, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
I know because I'm going through a sketchy area here. But yeah,
okay,
I mean, it's okay. I'm good.
I'm just going to look for some more cards. Quick.
Well, we got a bunch of stuff coming up.
I'm
this
just quick.
weekend? We have a good one coming up this weekend. Don't we have a good fight coming up in England this weekend?
I'm not sure about it. I'm just looking at me thing so I can pull up the list of what I had earlier. Then I can tell you. Let me pull it up. So this weekend, no, that's wrong. That's the wrong bloody thing. TV fights. Bedroom. Right, this weekend we've got Foster against Ford. This is for the WBC super featherweight title. That's a good fight.
Oshaki, yeah, very good.
Yeah. Then you've got Bivol against Effiat, which this should be a walk in the park.
That's the one. That's the one, yeah.
Effiat, not very good. Therefore, it'll be over in in about 4 or 5 rounds. But what I find with Bivol, Bivol normally just outboxes people. He doesn't normally, not come out.
It depends. He does knock people out occasionally.
Yeah, but a lot of his fights, even against substandard opposition like Lindolf, went to points. Craig Richards. I like watching him fight, but he's not a high knockout artist.
Well, he's a great boxer, and he has a great engine. We'll see. You know, the two fights with Beterbiev, we'll see if it took anything out of him. He's been out of the ring for a while.
Those
So,
fights would take anything out of anyone, right? And then you got
yeah.
Adam Azin against somebody called Claggett. Adam Azin this is for the European title, I believe. Azin will destroy this guy.
Yeah, I'm
Only
pretty
like
sure
a
that's
British
going to
level
happen.
guy.
Pretty sure that'll happen.
And then let me see what else we've got.
We got
There isn't really a lot
coming
else
up with Canelo. What?
I'm just looking at what the cards are here. There's Kevin Lerena against Richard Murphy, the former WBA cruiserweight champion. And I expect Kevin Lerena to win that.
Yeah, he should.
Then you got Gamboa. No, that's Gamboa against Espinoza in an 8-round
Really?
fight.
Is he still fighting? Gamboa is still fighting?
Yeah, he's fighting a guy called Espinoza from Venezuela. It's only an 8-rounder. Then Rigondeaux's on the undercard.
Wow. 2 Cubans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rigondeaux is fighting, let me have a look at somebody called Vasquez in 8 rounds. Don't know why both championship level fighters are fighting 8 rounders. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're both much older and they want an easier fight. You know, they both have a lot of mileage on them. I think they're both getting in their 40s or near to it.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
You can say that again.
Trying to think what else we can talk about. What else is there? I think there's a few more.
Mimbili coming up with Canelo, in September? We got, there's some good stuff coming on.
It's hard to put it sometimes. And what else is there to talk about? God, there's not really a lot else. I'm trying to think what else we can add.
Well, this weekend was a big card. It was a really big card. Oh, Catterall. Catterall won a title.
Oh, yeah, Jack Catterall won the WBA regular title, which, in spectacular fashion. This guy was 17-0, who we beat. He was a guy from Uzbekistan. We've never heard of him before, but he looked pretty decent, and Jack just outclassed him. That's the difference, because he's had so many world title fights in the last 4 years, like 3 or 4, that, obviously he should have been world champion years ago, Jack Catterall.
Well, we know that first fight where he won and they gave it to who? Josh, I think it was, right?
Yeah, and then he had his other title fights, lost those other 2, very unlucky to lose those 2 fights. I just think he's been unlucky, hasn't he, really, but now luck finally swung his way.
I think it was more than luck in this fight. He actually he got to this guy.
I'll be honest, I think he beats Rolly Romero. I think he's a better fighter.
Yeah, didn't he lose to the former champion from New Orleans?
Who?
The Rougarou.
I think so, yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, but it's a win and lose game. Just because you lose a fight doesn't make you a bad fighter, right? Sugar Ray Robinson lost fights. Archie Moore lost fights.
The problem
those guys lost fights. Ali lost.
The problem is the regular belt's not really a real world title, is it? Really, it's just
you're the number one. You're like the number one contender, right?
Yeah, he's a world champion, but I don't think he should celebrate too much until he gets a more better world title. It's still a start for him. He's won a world title. Now we can go for a proper one.
I think these belts are just a way for the title organizations to make money.
But don't get me wrong. I'm happy that he's got the WBA belt. At least it's something in it. You can't take it away. It's still a world title.
No, he did a great job. I mean, it was a tough fight, and then when he realized he couldn't knock the guy out, he just went back to boxing it.
Yeah, but he can beat some of the other guys in this division. 1 or 2 of the other guys. He could pick up probably another belt make a few defences, then have a big money fight, and then cash out. I don't think he's going to have a super long title reign. If he fought Rolly Romero in England, I think he'd win. Rolly Romero is a very good fighter. We know he beat Ryan Garcia. I mean, I think Catterall would probably lose to Garcia, but it'd be a good fight.
Romero is strong, yeah.
I mean, Catterall would destroy Conor Benn quite easily, I'd say, from what I've seen of them.
We're talking about 140 or 147.
I'm just having a look.
147, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure if he's 140 champion, Jack Catterall, or 147. I couldn't remember.
Well, Shakur is 140 now, right? Oh, he just won 147 against
147.
Rogaru. Yeah, so it's 147. That's where he should be at, because 140 is too light for him.
Yeah, this fight was at 147.
Right. So, there's a lot up there for him right now. It's talented. That division has got some good fighters in it right now.
But now but you've got Garcia, you've got Romero, you've got some really good fighters at welterweight. The divisions, it's opening up a bit. I'd like to see him in there with Norman Jr. would be a good defense for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I think being a southpaw and his boxing ability would give Norman Jr. a hard time. Maybe Devin Haney will fight him. Who knows? Maybe Devin Haney thinks it's an easy pickings for him. I don't know. But what's happening soon is Boots Ennis and Zayas. I think it's next week, isn't it? Or the week after?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. I'm not a big fan of Xander Zayas, to be honest.
Oh, he's effective and strong, but I think Boots
I don't think
he's anything
he's nothing special. But he's nothing special, is he? And you look at the guy who beat that African guy who wasn't much good, I think Conor Benn could beat someone like that. That's the sort of fights he should have. Catterall technically is a better fighter than. I think Xander Zayas, he's a little bit under the radar, and he doesn't get the same fanfare as the other 154 fighters. Because the 154 division, if you take out Fundora, it's really not a great. And Ennis, it's not really that much of a great division, really, is it? 154 when you look at it overall.
Yeah. I mean, there are good fights though to be made in that division. With one of the other champions, what's his name? What's the guy's name?
I mean, at welterweight, you've got Paddy Donovan, who I don't think's better than Jack Catterall. Welterweight as well. There's plenty of belts that Catterall can pick up. He could fight Paddy Donovan. Who
are the other two champions in that division? I forgot their names.
I've forgotten them as well. I can't remember.
There was the guy who beat the guy
Cuban
from
guy.
the
The Cuban guy.
Yeah, he beat the Muslim guy, right? Who knocked
that
out
was for the W. That was for the W. Not the WBO. The WBO champion is Devin Haney. Not Devin. Sorry, Shakur Stevenson. Paddy Donovan's the IBF, and Romero's the Super, and then the WBC is Garcia. So you've got 4 champions for him to pick.
Well, Garcia is welterweight. I'm talking about super welterweight.
Okay. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Fundora and somebody else, but it's not. And Xander Zayas has 2 of the belts. That's 3 of the champions, but it's not that super strong division. I think Fundora could clean that division out. From what I've seen,
you think he could beat Boots?
Possibly. But Boots is the interim champion. So Boots, the problem with Fundora is that he's so big that it's hard for guys to beat him in it because he's so big.
They can't reach him.
No, I reckon he'll move up to middleweight soon, or super middleweight. I could see him going up to middleweight quite easily, and winning a belt there. The problem is when you've got guys like Fundora who are probably fighting 2 weights below what they should be. I don't know how he makes the weight at 6'4". Do you? I mean, I don't have a clue.
Well, it depends on his metabolism, and if he stays in the gym like Hopkins did, if he's a gym rat, he'll be able to control.
Yeah,
It's a
but
lot of
Fundora's
discipline.
turned from an average fighter into a world class fighter as in the last couple of years. He's in his prime now. You know,
Yeah.
he's really coming to his own. He's proved himself. But that fight against Furman, he smashed Furman to pieces. Furman shouldn't have been in there, but that's another story.
Well, Thurman couldn't get away from him. He cut off the ring on him, and he just every chance he got, he was pounding on him.
Yeah, Furman's a very good fighter. You know, he's underrated. I mean, sorry, Fundora is very underrated.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting. It's almost like a freak show when you see him fight. How big he is.
It's strange when I look at him and I watch the highlights and I was like, is this even real?
I know. It's crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So, anything else you want to talk about? Any other news you heard today?
Have you let me double check the site quickly and I can see. I'll let you know. Give me a second.
Sure.
Have a look what's going on here. Oh, here we are. Just going to quickly scan through the news. The WBC have now ordered Noel Mikhailian to defend his WBC belt against the WBO champion David Benavidez. So, you know.
Benavidez will win.
Of course he would. But then in other news, Jaya Pataya and Noel Mikhailian are finalising a deal to have a fight as well. So,
well, yeah.
But the unifications take preference over mandatories, right?
Well, if the money is right, yeah, because the Sheik will pay off the title organizations to make those matches.
Yeah.
And that's it, you know. Because those title organizations, you know, they're moving more and more towards the ring title as being the authentic title when you have
but
these
the
title
is,
matches,
unification matches. You've got the Sheik obviously owns the Ring magazine, don't he? And the actual belt and the magazine itself.
That's right.
And it also says here Xander Zayas is not intimidated by Jaron Ennis, who is the mandatory challenger for the WBA belt.
Yep, it is what it is, my man.
We'll do one more and then we'll disappear.
All right.
Let me quickly find someone else. No, I think that covers it really, mate. We'll be back next week and we'll have more to talk about next week.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, bye.
Hey, talk to you soon.